You know the scene, right? You've just spent a good chunk of change on a fancy, orthopedic, top-of-the-line cat bed. And where's your cat? Ah, just blissfully curled up inside the cardboard box that the bed came in. It's a classic moment for every cat owner. Part hilarious, part, well, a little frustrating.
So, what is the deal with that? Why do they choose what we see as literal trash over five-star comfort? Well, what if I told you this isn't just your cat being picky or having a weird quirk? Nope, this behavior is actually plugged directly into thousands of years of deep, powerful biological instincts. We're talking survival, security, and even a little bit of thermodynamics.
So yeah, let's solve this mystery once and for all. We're going to dive into the 5 main reasons that magically transform a simple piece of cardboard into the ultimate feline getaway.
Okay, first up, and this is probably the biggest reason of them all, is security. To a cat, a box isn't just a box, it's a fortress, it's a safe room. This taps right into their ancient DNA and their most basic primal need to feel protected. Just think about it for a second. Your cat's ancestors, they were solo hunters. They didn't have a pack to watch their six, and animals sleeping out in the open is basically on the menu. But an animal inside a hollow log or little cave or, a modern-day Amazon box is protected on almost every side. They only have one tiny entrance to keep an eye on, which means their stress level just plummets to basically zero, and they can finally, truly let their guard down.
And listen, this isn't just a nice theory. We've got science to prove it. A study at the University of Utrecht took in a bunch of new shelter cats. They gave one group a box to hide in, and the other group got nothing. The results? They were incredible. The cats with boxes chilled out way faster. Their levels of cortisol, that's the main stress hormone, just tanked within a few days. The box wasn't a toy. It was basically anti-anxiety medicine in cardboard form.
But feeling safe is only part of the equation. There's another really practical, physical reason cats are drawn to boxes, and it all comes down to one simple thing: warmth. To really get why a box is so darn cozy, we have to talk about something called the thermal neutral zone. It's basically the Goldilocks temperature for any animal. Not too hot, not too cold. It's that perfect sweet spot where their body doesn't have to burn any extra energy just to stay comfortable. Now, here's the kicker. A cat's ideal temperature range is way, way higher than ours. We're talking between 30 and 38 degrees Celsius. So when you're sitting there in a t-shirt thinking the temperature is perfect, your cat is probably thinking, I could use a sweater. They're pretty much always on the lookout for a warm spot. And that's where the cardboard box comes in. Cardboard is a fantastic insulator. All those layers of paper trap air, right? So when a cat curls up inside, it traps its own body heat and creates this perfect, toasty little microclimate. It's like their own personal, self-powered space heater. And that explains why they always try to cram themselves into boxes that look way too small. The tighter the fit, the warmer they get, and the happier they are. Speaking of that tight squeeze, it actually does more than just keep them warm. It provides a really deep sense of psychological comfort, too. It's a real phenomenon called contact comfort. That constant, gentle pressure from the walls of the box actually triggers their brain to release feel-good chemicals like endorphins and oxytocin, which calms their entire nervous system. It's the exact same reason we swaddle babies or why weighted blankets work so well for people with anxiety. It makes them feel held, safe, and totally secure. Okay, so they feel safe, they feel warm, they feel like they're getting a hug. But let's not forget what a cat is at its core. Underneath all that fluff is a stone-cold predator, and a box speaks directly to that inner hunter. See, cats aren't like wolves. They're not built to chase their prey for miles. They are ambush predators, through and through. They live what scientists call a cryptic lifestyle, which is a fancy way of saying their whole strategy is to hide, watch, and wait for the perfect moment to pounce. And can you think of a better sniper's nest than a cardboard box in the middle of your living room? From inside that box, your cat is basically invisible. It lets them scan their entire kingdom without being seen, just waiting to launch a surprise attack on, well, probably your ankles as you walk by to get a snack. So finally, let's talk about the box itself. Because it's not just about the space it creates. The actual material, and even the idea of a boundary, plays a huge part in why cats love them so much. For one, cardboard has the perfect texture for scratching. And when a cat scratches, it's doing two things: sharpening its claws, sure, but it's also leaving its scent behind from glands in its paws. It's basically putting up a big sign that says, "This box is mine." But here's the craziest part. Their brains are so wired to love boundaries, they'll even sit inside a two-dimensional square
that's just outlined with tape on the floor. Their brain literally sees a border and thinks, yep, that's a good spot for me.
So when you're at it all up, you start to see why the box always wins. It's not just one thing. A simple piece of cardboard is their fortress, their personal heater, their anxiety blanket, and their hunting blind, all rolled into one. It's a multi-tool for feline happiness.
So the next time a package shows up at your door, maybe think twice before you break down that box for recycling. That humble cardboard might just be a better gift for your cat's well-being than any expensive toy you could ever buy. It reminds us that sometimes the simplest things are the ones that connect to the deepest needs. After all, it's their castle.